So episode 10 is going to pick up straight from where they left off in episode 9, and it's going to feel like a real movie after all the tension in the last episode between a lot of the characters. There was Marvin and Duke's relationship, which really came to a boiling point, and we're going to talk about this image later on in this video as well. Rack asking Kanan to deal with Detective Howard, and Kanan shooting his father without knowing who he was pulling the trigger on, and whether Detective Howard is going to survive, we're just going to have to wait and see. So we're going to go through what's to come for Kanan and Raquel, break down the exclusive scene that was released yesterday in a bit more detail, and how Scrappy's return will play a crucial role in protecting him. Will Raquel really win the war, because Unique definitely won't go down without a fight. So it's going to be interesting to see how they set things up going into season 2, because I'm sure there's going to be a lot of cliffhangers with regards to a few characters. Now, they haven't given us a huge synopsis, but we're going to break it down as usual and go through all of the characters with what we can expect from them. But of course, if you're new to the channel and you haven't done so already, then remember to smash the subscribe button if you want to see everything Power Book 3 and Power Universe related. But let's start with the synopsis for episode 10, which is titled Paid in Full, and it reads as the situation in the neighborhood turns dire. Rack scrambles to get Kanan out of harm's way. Now that's the synopsis, but I'm going to add to the synopsis with what Mackay Curtis, who plays Kanan, said about the finale. And he said there's so much that's going to be happening. I think there's going to be some clarity, there's also going to be some confusion, there's going to be some triumph, and there's also going to be some loss. There's going to be a setup of watching these people reap the benefits of their actions, and it's a story of their consequence now. So that's just to add to the synopsis of the episode, so we can tie Mackay Curtis's comments in together with the synopsis and break it down in this video. But let's start with the exclusive scene that was released yesterday. You could see where this confusion will come into play from Mackay Curtis's comments about the last episode. This is going to be the aftermath of Kanan shooting Detective Howard. We're going to see Kanan tripping and falling. He's going to cut his hand and hurt himself, tossing the gun into a pond as well. He's then going to walk past the bodega camera with his hood up. We're going to see him meeting Raquel, where she's going to take him to Lou's house, scrub his fingernails, and she's going to question him whether he got the job done. But Kanan really did mess up again, and on top of messing up, he lied to Rack, telling him that he shot him 3 times before changing his answer to 2. But then he said that he's gone for good, and we obviously don't know if he's gone for good. I do think he will die eventually, and definitely before Kanan finds out that he's his real father. But whether he dies as a result of Kanan shooting him, I'm not so sure, so let's just wait and see on that one. But this is where the confusion will definitely come in for Raquel especially, because Raquel is really going to be pissed at Kanan. Time and time again he messes up, and the only one time I actually thought he was going to do what was needed to be done, he fucks it up again. And this conversation may just leave Raquel confused as to whether Kanan has actually got the job done or not, questioning whether Detective Howard is gone for good, as Kanan says he is, but he didn't seem sure himself either, and it may leave Raquel having to task someone else to finish the job, and she really can't risk having Detective Howard live after what she just asked Kanan to do, because it would really throw her plan that she had with killing 2 birds with 1 stone with him and Unique. So Raquel can't afford Detective Howard to live, but we all know it's not as simple as that. It really would put a screw in Raquel's plan if he does remain alive. And if he did live, I don't think he's going to snitch that it was Kanan who shot him. I think he's going to blackmail Rack into forcing Kanan to give him this transplant that he needs. But there's just so many ways this can go right now, and I am leaning towards him being alive because it just causes that extra issue for Raquel, and it could be one of the cliffhangers going into season 2. But let's move on and talk about Unique, because at the beginning of the last episode, we saw Marvin go on full attack mode. He was working on his own because nobody can tell him how to protect his family, but Rack told Marvin, when you aim at Unique, you can't afford to miss. And this was the first time we were introduced to his son Jerome. Unique mentioned to Rack way back in episode 1 that he had a son called Jerome, but he doesn't feel the same way about his son as Raquel feels about Kanan. And there's 2 reasons why Rack is going to scramble to get Kanan out of harm's way. One is the whole issue with him shooting Detective Howard, and 2, Unique and his crew are going to come all guns blazing and have been given the strict orders by Unique to take anybody out associated with Rack. Man, child, he doesn't care who they are, how old they are. If they're on Rack's side, they have to go. And Unique knows that Kanan is Raquel's weakness, and with Marvin attacking Unique, while Jerome could have been caught in the crossfire, I'm sure all bets are off, and he'll take out anybody standing in his way, and that includes Kanan. And as Mackay Curtis teased, there will be some sort of loss, so I do expect a body or 2 to drop in the coming episode, and I really wouldn't be surprised if Marvin was involved once again. So that's the part of the synopsis where Rack is going to scramble to get Kanan to safety, and this is where Scrappy comes in. I'm sure Rack is going to ask Scrappy to help Kanan and get him out of harm's way, and this is something we broke down in a bit more detail in yesterday's video of how Scrappy is the right man for the job, because he's someone who knows how to stick and move, and this is something that he can help Kanan with. Now, there was one topic we hadn't touched on in the video yesterday, and she's listed to be in the last episode of the season on IMDb, but they are known to be wrong with the casting and listings for the episodes, so I don't know whether she's going to be back or not. But if she is back, then I wonder if Kanan will actually confront her about her giving up the stash house, because Scrappy could finally drill this into Kanan's head. about who really gave up the location. Scrappy saw Kanan talking to Davina, and he was also planted inside Unique's organization, albeit for a very brief period, so I'm sure he is someone who knows that Davina was the one who gave up the location, so hopefully Scrappy is able to make Kanan understand this situation a bit more. But let's move on and talk about Jukebox, and this image that was released from Raising Kanan Stars, with Jukebox clutching onto her bag, and could this be the moment where we see Juke finally being kicked out of the house? Juke looks real rough in this image, and I do feel for Juke. She lost Nicole, Marvin found out about her sexuality, and we saw that real powerful scene in the last episode between Marvin and Juke. And this is why we saw the jukebox we did, because Laverne died at a very young age, just leaving this cold and broken jukebox. She had to grow up very fast in this world, and she had to fend for herself. So Juke is gonna have another tough time in the next episode, and even with Detective Berg, because I'm sure she won't be happy once she finds out that Juke fed her some lies, especially after she opened up to Juke. But I just want to come back to Unique for a moment, and something I picked up on the last episode after rewatching it was how in the very first few moments when Unique was strapping Jerome up in the car, he actually noticed his jacket was missing. His jacket was in the back seat when Lou stole it, and it was no longer there, so he took a quick sneak peek at the front, and of course he was never going to find it, so he knows his jacket is missing. But I don't think he's going to suspect Raquel or will know what's about to come his way. And Marvin is going to be the one who is tasked to plant Unique's jacket at his place. And this is what he was up to in the trailer. He really is going to step up again, because Lou is going to be recovering in hospital, so Raquel is going to have to trust Marvin to plant the jacket once Kanan walks past the bodega cameras. But I still don't think it's going to be a straightforward win for Raquel. She promised Joaquin that she'll deal with Detective Howard and deal with Unique too, and she tried to kill two birds with one stone with Unique's jacket, but it didn't exactly go to plan thanks to Kanan, who is very sloppy. But these are the mistakes that made him the powerful and strategic character that we saw on Power. So he is eventually going to learn from all of these lessons. But will Kanan really learn the truth about Detective Howard? I really don't think so, because it really wouldn't match up with the storyline that they had in Power in season 5. But let's wait and see what happens with this one. So that's a breakdown of what we can expect from episode 10, and if Raquel really wants to win this war, she might just have to think on her feet and act very quickly if she does find out that Detective Howard is indeed alive. And there's going to be some triumph in this episode, there's going to be some loss as well, but whether that comes from Raquel's side, let's wait and see. So drop all your thoughts and comments down below in the comment section. Let me know if you think Detective Howard is dead or alive, if you think Raquel will win the war, will Kanan finally learn the truth about Davina, and let me know what you think about Jukebox and this image. So drop all your predictions down below in the comment section, and of course if you're new to the channel and you haven't done so already, then remember to smash the subscribe button if you want to see everything Power Book 3 and Power Universe related. But as always, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you next time.